So, First Man, directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Ryan Gosling, the highly anticipated movie is finally here. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys what I thought about this movie, what I liked about it, and some things I didn't like about it as well. But before we get into all that, I do got to say, if you're a fan of movie talk, movie reviews, and really everything of that nature, definitely consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell down below, which will notify you anytime I have any new content coming out. But with that out of the way, let's dive right into this. So First Man, obviously this movie is about Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. But more specifically, this movie is about the journey leading up to getting to go to the moon, if you know what I mean. And that's one thing that surprised me about this movie. It really is about the journey in getting to the moon and not really about the moon mission itself, if you know what I mean there. Now, to start this review off, I do gotta say that this movie, it was a good movie, but I do gotta say that it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Now look, this is a good movie. That's how I would characterize it. It's a good movie. It's solid from beginning to the end. But when I went into this movie, I expected great, and I was kind of expecting Oscar-worthy type of movie, but really I just got a good movie, not a great movie. But with that out of the way, now let's start with what I liked about the movie. Look, obviously, Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong is fantastic in this movie. Now, you know, I was expecting a Oscar-type performance from Ryan Gosling, and I don't think we got that, but I don't think that's necessarily his fault. I think it was the way the character was written, if you know what I mean. But overall, his performance is still very good. And also, Claire Foy, who plays Neil Armstrong's wife in this movie, also puts together a strong performance. And she brings a lot of the emotion to the movie. The emotion that Neil Armstrong kind of doesn't bring to this movie. Claire Foy brings it to this movie very well, and I really enjoyed her performance as well. Now, I'm hearing some people say it's an Oscar-worthy performance. I personally don't think that. I think Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place, and quite frankly, Lady Gaga in A Star is Born is better than Claire Foy was in this movie, but I definitely think she put together a very solid performance, and I like what she did in this film. And to be honest, really all of the performances in this movie are actually very good. Every single performance, top to bottom, is a very good performance, and you could tell all the actors took this movie very seriously, which I really appreciated. Just like A Star is Born, this is all the performances in this movie are definitely fantastic. Now, I also like how the movie was directed. Look, when they're in the space shuttle and they're doing those scenes and they're training to go up there, I think all those scenes and the way they're directed is very nice. I like how the director kind of sucks the air out of the room and really makes you feel like you're actually in that space shuttle with Neil Armstrong. I love the way Damien Chazelle did that, and I think a lot of these parts are directed very well, even though I do think the shaky camera at times drags on and does get a bit old. But overall, I love how this movie was directed. Now, another great thing about this movie, look, the drama and the tension of the whole situation is fantastic in this movie, and it really keeps you gripped to your seat while watching this movie. I loved the drama and the tension of it all, as it should be very high, because I'm sure in real life it was very, very high, so I love the way they portrayed it in this movie, and that goes a lot to Damien Chazelle and the way he directed this movie as well. Now, with those out of the way, we do have to get into some of the bad. Now, this movie does at times feel like it drags on just a little bit. It does feel like it drags on in some parts. I do feel like they could have cut out a lot of parts of this movie just to shrink it down, because at times this movie does get a little boring and it does kind of drag on, and I was kind of finding myself wondering when they were going to get to the end of this movie. So that's one complaint about it. Now, also the other complaint is, like I said earlier, about Neil Armstrong. Like, his character wasn't written right to me. You know, he just didn't bring a lot of the emotion to the table, and what I mean by that is a lot of the emotion with his family. Look, about going to the moon, he has no emotion about it. Like, it's a risky mission, one of the biggest risks ever. Like, there's a very good possibility you might not come back, and he just doesn't really portray any of that emotion. It's like almost like he doesn't care if he comes back or not, and I just don't really know if I really liked that about it. I felt like there should have been more emotion, and I felt like if there was more emotion, that could have catapulted this to a Oscar-worthy performance for Gosling, but it just wasn't there, and that's one of the things that You know, he showed some emotion, but just not at the times you want him to, and it's just one of the things that bothered me about this movie. But overall, I would definitely rate this movie 4 out of 5, and I would really recommend that you guys go see this movie. If you're not doing anything else this weekend and you're looking for a movie to go see, this should definitely be at the top of your list because it is a very good movie. I was just expecting great, but I got very good, which is satisfying as well. But that's what I thought about First Man. Definitely jump down in the comments below and let me know what you thought about First Man. Did you like it? Why or why not? And do you agree or disagree on some of my takes on this? I want to hear all of your opinions on this. And if you guys like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up and share it with all of your friends. But with all that out of the way, thank you for watching.